I am tipping you $0. If you work somewhere where I have to go to the counter and look up at a menu, I am not tipping you a single cent. Now, everything I'm about to say, I feel I have a little credibility to say because
Many Americans are kind of forced to tip right now, and a lot of Americans aren't liking it. And this guy says, I hate tipping because it's me directly subsidizing the employer's cost of business. A lot of people also have been saying that they've been asked to tip when they've gone through a self-service kiosk. Kind of just doesn't really make any sense. I mean, this guy got takeout yesterday, was asked to tip $0, which in my personal opinion, I really do think that's appropriate. Like, you're literally picking it up. This guy is talking about how their car insurance, gas, and everything and time, it's not free. I don't know what's going on here, but I really do feel like the US has a really big tipping problem. Like, if you go outside the US, tipping generally is not a thing. Okay, if you go to places like Asia, tipping is considered rude and it's not even a real thing. If you go to like a lot of the Western countries like Canada and the UK, you only tip if the service is like incredible to the point that, you know, it exceeds all expectations, and then you tip. But in America, it seems like people are tipping 20% just for them to scoop ice cream in a cone. Check out some of these videos.
There is no freaking way. I just went to go get froyo, where you make it yourself. Okay, I'm sitting there with my little bowl, and I put my ice cream in, and then I move over to my favorite section, the toppings, okay? And I put in some chocolate-covered strawberries, some brownies, and then I move over to the little section where you have to weigh your ice cream, and it gives you the total. And not gonna lie, y'all, that was some expensive froyo. But anything to make my stomach happy, of course. And so I take out my wallet, pull out my card, and I'm tapping it, and it's not working. So I was like, okay, maybe I can swipe it. I swipe it, and it's still not going through. And I was low-key getting embarrassed because, like, there's people behind me. And the worker comes up to me, and he's like, it's not going through because it's asking you to tip. I was like, oh. And he was like, press the bottom right corner. And I was like, the no tip? And he goes, yeah, we don't get those tips anyway. The owner keeps them. If we don't get paid enough. I was like, oh, but I'm just here for my froyo, okay? But like, I think it's crazy that these self-serve places are asking you to tip and the owners are keeping it. Like, that makes no sense at all.
Guys, let's talk about tipping. Do you guys tip on carryout? I'm not talking about like Jersey Mike's or like Chipotle. No, I'm talking about like you call a pizza joint and you tell them, hi, can I have all my wings flats and can I have extra ranch and I would like my pizza crispy and I would like some Parmesan for my pizza. Yes, I'm tipping on carryout. And the reason why is because I want to make sure the hands are feeding me are blessed, right? They're making sure that my order's correct. Now they're not a server, right? They're not lugging plates back and forth. They're not running around. They're not going back and forth a couple times to deliver drinks, stuff like that. But they are making sure that everything's right. So I do like to tip 5 to 10% depending on the order, right? What do you think?
I am so over tipping. It's gone too far. And so here's my new perspective, my new strategy when it comes to tipping. Number one, I am not tipping anywhere where they ask me to tip before I experience the service. For example, I went and got a $9 smoothie the other day, and right when I was like ordering my smoothie, I was like, oh, I'll get the breakfast smoothie. Then they're like, okay, it's just gonna ask you a few questions. The answer is no. One, y'all haven't made my smoothie. 2, I haven't tasted my smoothie. 3, I don't even know if I'm gonna like this smoothie yet. Why am I tipping? Like, I'm not tipping. Also, it's a smoothie. It's not like a sit-down restaurant. Like, what are we doing? There's a lot of places that make sense to tip, like restaurants. You experience the food, you experience the service, you're sitting down, you're being served. Of course you leave a tip there. But again, that tip is based off the experience, okay? Same thing, nail salons. You get your nails done, you pay and you tip based off the service, okay? I'm not tipping preemptively. So that goes for coffee shops where they turn it around, ask you questions, ice cream shops, anywhere like that. Ice cream shops alone is just a no for me. You scooped my ice cream for 15 seconds and put it in a cup. Like, no. You guys are paid hourly, like hourly rates. If they're not enough, talk to your employer. But why is that burden being put on the consumers? I will never understand. As a business owner, imagine if every single time you guys bought a planner from my site, it was like, oh, just leave a tip. Leave a tip for what? We hand make all your planners and I'm still like, leave a tip for what? No.
Are you guys tipping when you pick up a carryout order? I don't know when it changed to we need to now be asked to tip to pick up a carryout order. It's one thing to tip a server who gives you great service. I'm happy to do that. And I usually do add a couple dollars just because I always feel sort of compelled to do that. But I just picked up a carryout order and the options to tip were 20, 22, and 25% for a carryout order. Really? Is anyone tipping 20% for a carryout order, or am I just being a jerk?
At the risk of being called broke, I gotta ask. Can we all admit that this tipping shit has gotten out of control? And don't get me wrong, restaurants, I get it. Waitresses, waiters, I know y'all only making about 45 cents an hour. And that's crazy. So I get it. The minimum I tip is about 15%. And I could tip up to 100% of the bill. It just depends on how I'm feeling. The drunker I am, the more I'm finna tip. You understand me? But if I'm placing an order online for some food and you're making me pay online, like there's no option for me to pay at pickup, don't ask me for no damn tip. I ain't even seen the food yet. What? I haven't even seen the food. I don't know what's going on with the food. I could get there and it looked like trash and I've already tipped 20%. You got to be kidding. What? And not to mention you folks that be providing services. I just seen this video. This girl went to go get a massage. They asked her to pay for the massage before she got the massage, and then asked for a tip before she got the massage, and then got mad when she tipped like 10%. What? That's crazy. What be on y'all's mental for real? Why not just increase your, if you want the tip that bad, increase your prices.
What I need people to understand is tipping is not a requirement. It is a luxury. People do not have to tip you. What part of that concept is so hard for some of y'all to grasp? And just in this week alone, I have had 2 instances that have pissed me off when it comes to tipping. The first one being, I order a pizza for delivery. I do not put in a tip when I'm ordering food online for delivery if I have cash. If pizza man knocks on the door, hands me the pizza, hands me the receipt and a pen and says, you didn't leave a tip, are you gonna leave a tip? Now, I don't even want to leave you a tip just off of the strength that you even asked me if I was going to leave you one. But I did, so moving on. Now, yesterday, I go to get my hair braided by the African. I'm not going to name the name of the shop because I go there all the time. The lady asked me how I want to pay, cash or card. I said card. Mind you, I always pay card. I've never paid cash. She going to tell me, no, we don't do cash payments. You have to use the ATM over there. Strike number 1, you lying in my face. You really just watched the person sitting next to me fill out their receipt for their payment, so I know for a fact you take cards. You just wanted cash. I go to the ATM that they have in the shop. It's a $2.50 transaction fee. The max limit that you can pull out of the ATM is $200. So now I have to make 2 transactions from this ATM to give you cash. For my first transaction, $200, the max that I can put, the max that I can take out. My next transaction, $140 because you can only do intervals of 20. Another $2.50 ATM fee. So I have now paid $5 in ATM fees. I gave the lady $3.20. I said, do you have change for this 20? Braiding assistant takes my 20 and says, make sure you leave her a tip. Who the fuck are you talking to, first and foremost? So she comes back, giving me change for my 20 with 2 $10 bills. Politely handed her that $10 bill to make my total $3.30, and I went about my way. Because first of all, I'm gonna tell y'all where y'all had me fucked up at. Number 1, because I was not pleased with the service. We'll make a part 2 on that. So no, I was not moved to give a tip. Let me tell you why I'm glad I did not leave a tip. Y'all, why today I wake up and I check my bank account, I have now 2 more charges on my bank statement for $2.50 each. Hold please. Now, I have blacked out the name of the salon that I went to just off of the strength that I would like to have a conversation with the owner first and see how this issue can be resolved. But anyway, as you can see here, $202.50, $142.50, $5 total for each of the 2 transactions that I had to make. Why do I wake up this morning and there's another $250 transaction and another one? So you mean to tell me I have now spent $10 in ATM fees to give somebody cash that lied to my face off of the fact that you guys do accept card and I know that? So moral of the story is tipping culture is out of hand. Don't nobody owe you shit.
guys, are we tipping on carryout? Like, that's the reason I get carryout. Is like, cause I'm like, I can just go pick it up. I don't need to pay for, you know, delivery and tipping on that. So I go pick it up, but then there's always a spot that says like tip, and I always just feel bad, like not. And I just picked up Pizza Hut because I have a son on the spectrum, and he only will eat Pizza Hut, pepperoni, hand toss. That's it. But I just do carry out. It's so cheap. It's like $7.99 for a large hand toss. It's good.
I feel so dirty. I left a $15.84 tip on a $171 Chinese order. I am usually a really generous tipper, but today I was thrown off. The box was there. You know how that little box you click on? I don't even know if it was 10% or 15%, but it threw me off. So what would you guys have tipped? If it was $171, what would you have tipped for pickup? I'm kind of upset at myself because usually, like, Asian people are known to be bad tippers. And I try to be the opposite of that, so I'm tipping way more than normal just to break the mold. But I can't help but feel so dirty right now. I feel like disgustingly dirty. Did my food come 15 minutes later than it should have? And they were a little slow on that? Maybe. Does that normally influence my tip? Not so much. I usually just tip ahead of time. I don't care. I was literally going to do a food review on this place in Minnesota, but I'm flabbergasted now, so I'm kind of just like, I'm just a bad tipper. I'm so sad. Let me know what you guys would have tipped in my situation. Put it in the comments below. I'm curious.
Hey, yo, listen, bro. Tipping culture is getting out of hand, bro. It's getting out of hand. Why is everywhere asking for a fucking tip nowadays? I am not a cheap person. I love tipping my barber. I love tipping the bartender. I love tipping the waiter. But why do I have to tip the barista at fucking Starbucks when they just gonna put 95% ice in my iced coffee anyway? Why? Why am I tipping them when my beverage is literally done after 2 fucking sips? Why am I tipping them? Please tell me. Why am I tipping the person that's preparing my food at Chipotle? Why am I tipping them? Please tell me. They don't even give you a generous amount of meat anymore. Pause. They don't even do... Remember when they used to give you 2 scoops of meat? Now you're lucky if you get a half a scoop. And then when you ask them for double meat, they got the nerve to look at you like they got a fucking problem. You ain't even give me no fucking meat. And because I'm asking for double the meat, you still only give me the amount that you should have given me in the first place. And bro, don't even get me started on Subways, bro. Man, listen, every time I go to motherfucking Subways, I ask for a sandwich, right? Why is it that they giving me more vegetable? Why do I have a fucking vegetable sandwich with meat on it? Please tell me that. They give you just a little bit of meat, but as soon as you ask them for lettuce or spinach, they put a whole fucking acres of lettuce on there. Why? I don't want a vegetable sandwich. Like, but after they put the lettuce, after they put the vegetables on it, you don't even see the meat anymore. The meat is gone. You'd be damned if you even taste it, for that matter. The price is going up, but they give you less food. Like, this shit is really getting out of control. They really sitting out, they really playing in our faces out here, yo. Really getting. What are we gonna do about this? Because enough is enough already. This is exactly why every time I go to Chipotle, I still eat Tabasco sauce. This is exactly why. And I'm not going to stop. Sue me. Because I'm not going to stop doing it. Every time I go in that motherfucker, when you call yourself short-handing me on my food, you're going to lose some Tabasco sauce. Maybe even 2.
Here's the thing. Here's something I'm so tired of. Tipping culture has gotten out of control. Okay? It is out of control. Now, don't get me wrong. I am a good tipper when appropriate. Right? But fast food has been around 60, 70 years. And they were not at the McDonald's window asking for 20%. Now, it's bad enough the prices of things have gone up. Okay, the price of life right now, every 15 minutes seems to rise, right? We don't even have a Dollar Tree no more. It's the $1.25 tree. Five Below need to change their name because they got stuff in there for $7. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, in service industry people, I need you to know my comments on this video are not a safe space for you, because I am not arguing the point of tipping when appropriate. When you get a service rendered directly to you, absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? They're timely, they're professional, they do a good service. Those people deserve their money. But what we're not going to do is charge $12 for a smoothie and then ask me for 20% on top of the $12. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. They still don't ask you for a tip at the McDonald's. Why are you at Beyond Smoothie with first of all, the $12 smoothie is wrong. And then you want 20%. The way I'm not your audience, the way I'm going to hit that no tip every time, it just is what it is. It's out of control.
Since tipping culture has gotten insane in the United States, this is a list of things I will tip for and things I will not tip for. And this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but I will tip my food delivery drivers, whether that be DoorDash or Uber Eats. But if my food comes with something missing, if it is delayed and it comes cold, or if you don't follow delivery instructions, I'm not going to tip you. Like if I ask you to leave the food at the door and you keep blowing up my phone to come outside to walk to your car to pick up my food, I'm not tipping you anymore. If I ordered a large fries and chicken nuggets and the fries is halfway done, no drink in my meal, I'm not tipping. And don't even get me started when the drive be taking mad long. I don't even know how that happens, but one time I ordered food and it legit took 2 hours to get to me. I'm not tipping for that. Any other thing I will tip for. Another thing I will not tip for are food services that I provide to myself. If I go to a froyo place and I make the froyo myself, I add my own toppings, why would I then get to the front of the register and you switch the register to me to tip? You didn't do anything for me but ring me up. I'm not tipping for that. And the reason I feel this way is because when I was in high school, I worked like a bullshit job where I was literally at the kiosk and I did not do anything. So I didn't expect people to tip me if they were doing all their food services by themselves. Another thing I will not tip for are certain beauty services. Like if I'm paying you to get my hair done and all that cash is going to you, I will not tip, especially if y'all have a cancellation fee, a late fee, and then you guys show up late to my appointment, you expect me to pay for that? No. Don't get me wrong, I tip servicers if the service is excellent. Like I will send extra money. But if you inconvenienced me in any single way and I'm still paying full price, I do not feel the need to tip. One thing that I do tip for that I feel like the common population does not tip for are people who pump my gas. So I live in New York and it's not common for people to pump gas, but I will literally drive the extra 3 blocks, 4 blocks, whatever, to go to a gas station so that they can pump my gas for me. I know it's extra. I will literally tip the guys that pump my gas because they're literally doing manual labor. They're doing something that I don't want to do for myself. So yeah, I'll tip them. And then around Christmas time or when it's winter and it's colder, I tip them even extra because they're standing out in the cold when I don't want to do that, or if it's raining too. Finally, I always tip at sit-down restaurants because I know in the United States it's so messed up, they do not get paid enough. But if the service is bad, I am not going to tip, and I'm going to stand by that. Tipping is supposed to be gratitude for the service, but if the waiter comes and they're rude or something is wrong, I'm not tipping for that. For example, I was in a very, very, very expensive restaurant in Miami not too long ago, and one of the waiters legit poured an entire bottle of wine on one of the people that was at my table. They were also wearing all white. And then instead of making this issue a better thing, the managers came and they were trying to default. Like, no, I'm not doing that. You spilled a whole entire bottle of wine on one of the guests. I'm not tipping. But yeah, let me know if you guys want a part 2 about things I will tip and not tip for.
I just left First Watch and me and my friend, we did not tip. Okay, a tip is based on your service. I'm sorry, you're not entitled to a tip. You've applied for a job where you work based on like you rely on tips. So that means you should give good service. Period, point blank, you should give good service. And I know people say, oh, well, black people don't like to tip. That's why people treat us any type of way. For one, the server was black. And this is our second time at this establishment, First Watch. And he was our server both times. And the first time we had him, he was so rude to us. But we said, you know, maybe he's having a bad day. It was very, very busy. Like we had like a 20-minute wait. So we gave grace and we still tipped him, right? This time, you're rude to us again. And it's not even busy in here. That's just how you act. So no, you're not going to get a tip. And I know it was because we are black, because we watched how he interacted with the white people and he did not do that. So you are assuming that we're not going to tip. But the last time that we were here, we tipped 20%. And you messed up our order, and you messed up the order this time the same exact way you did last time. So the guy that I went with, whenever he orders pancakes, waffles, whatever, French toast, he always says, can you add strawberry and banana on the side? The last time he didn't, he forgot it. And he argued back and forth like, well, you didn't ask for that. You didn't ask for that. And my friend was like, yes, I did. And he was like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. I know for a fact you did. And it's like, okay, why are you arguing? Just say, if he said you forgot it, just say, I'm sorry about that. I'll go get it. He literally argued back and forth. And this time he came to our table, he actually wrote everything down. And you still got it wrong. And you can't even argue with us this time. Because I'm looking at your pen and pad and you wrote down exactly what we said that we wanted and you still did not give us that. Then I have a soup, y'all. I want to take my soup to go. So I'm like, hey, can I get, a to-go bowl for my soup? This man brings me a regular to-go box. So I'm like, can I get a bowl for the soup? Yeah. And then comes back. But everybody else, they get not only their to-go boxes, but they get a bag. I don't get a bag or anything. Mind you, when he's taking our orders, he's like, yeah, what do you want? Okay, you have to pick this. You have a side too. Like, he's just so rude and just nasty for whatever reason. And even when we went to like go pay, because you pay at the front, he's at the front, but you let your coworker ring us out. But you rang out your other tables, but when it came to us, you just told your coworker, oh, is this one in the system to ring them out. So no, you don't get a tip. The only tip that you get is us telling your coworker he's rude as hell and we ain't tipping him. Somebody needs to talk to him. My manager needs to talk to him. Because what is your problem? Like, even if, it would be one thing if you had a regular that always came in and they always asked for you and they never tipped. And it's kind of like, dang, I don't even want to waste my time when I rely on tips, and everybody knows that servers rely on tips. But the last time we came, we tipped you very well. So it ain't even like you've had a bad experience with us. Y'all.
I want to talk about why I'm personally against getting rid of the tipping culture in America. The argument of tipping as a whole always irks me because it's always people just thinking about themselves and not having any sense of like community or how things actually work. It's just sad. Like, obviously, yes, corporations need to pay their employees, but they don't. They fucking don't. So we have to pick up the slack. Yes, we have to pick up the slack, but why are we mad at the service workers who need the tips? Why are we taking it out on the people who earn tips just because you're mad the corporation doesn't pay them and you have to tip? Have some solidarity, please. But on top of that, my other reason is because people will riot if tipping culture goes away and they don't know it. In Europe, tipping isn't a thing, and obviously it works there, but if you've ever gone out to eat in Europe, the service reflects that. Every restaurant I went to in Europe, I was in the Czech Republic, Poland, and Austria. Every single one, the server would come, take your order, leave, never come back until the end to give you your check. Like, never. You had to pay for water, you got no free refills, no checkbacks, nothing. And it's psychology. It's basic psychology. If you don't have a reinforcement to do extra work, to make your tables happy, to go the extra mile, to give them refills, to check back every now and then, why would you do it? So in short, if we got rid of tipping in America, the service quality would drastically decrease. And people complain a lot now when you serve them, even if you're giving 5-star service. Can you imagine what Americans would be like without the type of service they receive now? They would riot. They would get more rude. They would further blame the service workers, and we would still be in a shit situation with us not making enough money. Just tip people. It's not that hard.
You guys, can we talk about tipping? Like, every place that I go to now asks for a tip. Like, if I go to a place where I'm grabbing coffee, they're like, oh, it's gonna ask you a question, and then I automatically know they're gonna ask for a tip. And it's so awkward too, because they're just staring at you and like they're expecting you to give something, and sometimes I'll just, because I feel bad, I'll just tip them. But like, let's be honest, why do we have to tip for every little thing? Yeah, if you're getting DoorDash, Instacart, any delivery service, or like if you go to a sit down restaurant and you give a tip, that's obviously you have to do that, right? I mean, you have to have a little bit of a heart to do that. But like, if you go to an ice cream place or you go to a coffee shop and they ask you for a tip, like, ma'am, sir, a tip for what? What would you do? Like, I'm not gonna go out of my way and tip you because you made me my coffee, or you put my ice cream in a bowl or in a cup or like in a cone. Trust me, I know how it feels with tips. I'm a licensed, LBA at Sephora, and obviously I get tipped, and that's very sweet of people to tip me, but like, I don't expect it. And like, when you go to these random places and they ask you for a tip, you're just like, and they're just staring at you too. Or like, let's say I go to Yogurtland, for example. It's a self-serve, like, frozen yogurt that you go get yourself. And then they're like, oh, here's a question. And I'm like, okay, why is there even that question? Like, for what? I came inside myself. I grabbed my frozen yogurt by myself. I put my toppings by myself. And I didn't get any help with that. So what do you guys want to tip for? I don't know. That's just me. If anyone disagrees or agrees, let me know in the comments. But that's just me.